Okay, it is September. We've had a few little rains. Lawns are starting to green up, and lots of people are starting to look around and saying, wow, there's a lot of dead areas and a lot of areas that do not seem to be bouncing back. What you see back there is actually quite common of what we're noticing all over the place right now. The grass is struggling with a little bit of rain that we've gotten to stop bouncing back, but at the same time, big patches of dead. That's not grubs most likely just yet. My suspicion of what happened this spring was a lot of areas did not have time to transition to that real hot spell that we had. I think back at the end of May, early June, we just went up to like 100 degrees for like 3 days and then cooled back down again. And I noticed lawn diseases popped up all over the place. I noticed just a lot of stressed plants that just never seem to recover. And so if I'm seeing this right now, I am not thinking that that is grubs. But that being said, it is going to happen any day now. And this happened last year to us where the weather started cooling off. We had a cool August, and then we started having a lot of little showers, but not substantial rain. And that's kind of the pattern we're in again right now. So a lot of lawns, poke around. I don't suspect it's grubs if you're seeing like this. I think those areas just died in the heat. Because it was that weather was just so conducive for diseases when we got so humid, so hot, so fast, and the grass just didn't have time to adapt it. I noticed all shrubs, a lot of shrubs started burning their leaves, a lot of perennials burned their leaves, and it was like any little thing, any little plant that was stressed just did not handle that and never seemed to really bounce. And then the rain shut off. And now we're getting this beautiful weather and the grass is struggling so hard to break dormancy and grow, but we're just not getting substantial rains. So what do we do right now? I'm not running out and fertilizing because these little showers that we have disappear after a day or two of the sun being out and the wind being out. And then we're just turning around and the grass is stressed again. Once I see my grass really growing and I know that we've gotten 1 or 2 good rains, then I'm going to go through and fertilize and aerate. That's our standard protocol in the fall. It's the best time of year to be aerating. It's the best time of year to be fertilizing. Let that grass recover from the summer stress. But it's also the best time for renovations. So any areas that you're seeing like this, our protocol is typically the same. Dethatch the areas, aerate the areas, and then overseed the areas, and then top dress. It's very important that once you're done seeding that you go through and you tamp that soil down. If I've got big areas like this, I'm just going to go in there and I'm going to rake up the worst of it, and then I'm going to spread a thin layer of soil, a lawn soil, or a little thin layer of compost in those areas, mix the seed in with that, and then start watering. This is beautiful weather if you have the ability to water. And so with our crazy weather patterns and our falls being so dry the last few years, it is definitely a good practice to top dress, get the newest seed. And I'm not patching these just these areas. There's too many of them. And so in this particular case, you're going to go through and do a whole renovation, because the downfall is when you're selecting your grass seed, you want to get the best seed you can for the area that you're using it. So this area that's full sun, but there's some shrubs, I'm using the Jonathan Green Ultra and dealing with the highest quality seed I can at that point, and let everything establish from there. And then I'm going to overseed the whole lawn, because some of that's we're just trying to inoculate the newest grass seeds into the rest of the lawn. So that's it. We have other videos and we'll be diving deeper, but and then watch for grubs, because last year the damage was so bad from grubs. Not that it was a crazy bad year for grubs, it was more of the simple fact that we had no rain and the grass was like this, struggling to grow. And then it took only a few grubs to start doing real bad damage. And it was one of the worst grub damage years for us here in Southern New England in a long time. And I don't think it was just that it was more grubs than normal. It was just the drought. And we're kind of teetering in that same situation. The grass is not outgrowing the baby grubs, and those grubs have hatched in your lawn if you didn't put preventatives down. So if you didn't put preventatives down, really pay attention to some of these brown areas. Just make sure, poke around with a shovel, make sure it's not grubs, because I know any day now we're gonna start getting calls left and right about grub damage, because those little baby grubs have to go from a little baby grub to a big meaty grub before winter. And that just means they do a tremendous amount of damage to the lawns. And if the grass is growing rapidly, like it typically does in the fall, they outgrow it. And it usually doesn't do that bad of a damage unless it's a real infestation. But in times like this, when it's really dry and you've got drought conditions and then you have the grubs hatching, damage can get bad fast. So that's it. Keep an eye on it. Best of luck with your lawn. Take care.